Hello everyone. Welcome to third part of chapter Control and Coordination. Today in this video we will study the organization of human nervous system. The human nervous system is well developed. It is complex. It is broadly classified into three parts: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system. The central nervous system, it lies in central axis. It includes brain and spinal cord. Let us study about location of brain and the spinal cord. Brain is the vital organ present in head region. It is well protected in bony box of the skull called cranium. Look at the figure. You can see here the skull structure in which the cranium structure is present, and the cranium, it is useful for the protection of the brain. The brain get elongates posteriorly called spinal cord. Spinal cord, it is running through vertebral column. Vertebral column provide the protection to spinal cord. As you know, around the brain, a bony covering is present called skull. The inner lining of the skull have three more protective coverings called menings. They protect brain and spinal cord. Student, look at the figure. We can see here the skull. It is the skin of the head. Below the skull, a skull, that is a bony covering which is present around the brain. Below that we can find a purple color periosteal dura mater which is present just above the menings dura mater. Then below the dura mater, arachnoid matter is there. Then the pia mater is present, and below the pia mater, here the actual tissue of the brain is present. Let us study about the menings. Menings, these are the protective coverings present around the brain. Dura mater, it is the outermost protective mening. It is a tough, it is a non-vascular, thick and the fibrous. It provides the protection to the brain. It is separated by subdural space, which is present between dura mater and arachnoid. It is filled with a serous fluid. Next mening, it is a arachnoid. It is present between the dura mater and the pia mater. It is a thin layer. It is a non-vascular, that indicates the blood vessel network, it is absent. It is separated from the pia mater by a cavity called subarachnoid space, which is filled with CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid. The pia mater is the innermost mening. It is a highly vascular because here the network of blood vessel is present, and this layer, it provides the nourishment to the brain tissue. It encloses a cavity which is filled by CSF, that is a cerebrospinal fluid, and pia mater, it is very close with the brain. Let us study about the cerebrospinal fluid. It is alkaline fluid present around the brain and spinal cord. It is a lymph-like. It is secreted by choroid plexus. It is the region present in the brain. Pia mater, which is the innermost mening, which is in close contact with the brain. And ependymal cells. These are the glia cells present in the linings of ventricle or the cavities of brain and the spinal cord. This fluid is the shock absorber. So it protects the brain and the spinal cord from mechanical injuries. It also maintains constant pressure in the brain. It helps in exchange of the nutrients like glucose, water, vitamins, minerals. It also collects the waste from brain tissue. It supplies the oxygen to the brain. It protects the brain from desiccation as it is a watery fluid. It avoids the dryness of brain tissue. Let us study about the human brain. Human brain, broadly, it is divided into three regions: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain, it is the anterior most part of the brain. It includes olfactory lobes, cerebrum, and diencephalon. Midbrain, it is the second part of the brain. It is present in the mid region of the brain, and it includes corpora quadrigemina and the crura cerebri. Look at the figure. You can see here these three different regions of the brain. Hindbrain, it is the last part of the brain, which includes pons varolii, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata. Forebrain include olfactory lobes. They are highly reduced in case of the human being. They are covered by cerebrum, as it is highly developed in case of the human being. It consists of olfactory peduncle and the olfactory bulb. Olfactory bulb, it is connected with nasal cavity. In nasal cavity, olfactory epithelium is present. Olfactory epithelium, it is connected with olfactory nerves. These nerves further it is connected to olfactory bulb. Olfactory bulbs in which the nerve cells are present, which further together it forms the axon. Bundle of the axon or bundle of the nerves, together it forms olfactory peduncle. Cerebrum, it is a second important part of the forebrain. Student, look at the figure. Here we can see the cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain. It is about 85% of the total mass of the brain. It is divided into two halves, that is the right and the left hemisphere. It is divided because of deep central long fissure. Though two halves of the hemispheres are separated internally, they are connected with each other by a thick band of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. So what is the corpus callosum? It is the band of the nerve fiber which connect two halves of cerebrum or the two hemispheres of the cerebrum. The outer surface of the cerebrum is called cerebral cortex, and the inner part of the cerebrum, it is the medulla. Cerebral cortex, it is made up of gray matter. It is a gray in color because cell body and the dendrites structures are located in this region. Cell body is having Nissls granules, and because of that this structure it appear gray in color, while medulla it is the white in color. Here only the axon fibers are present, so this color of the medulla, it is the white. The surface of the cerebral hemisphere, it is folded by many convolutions or the foldings called gyri, and the grooves which are present, it is called sulci. Gyri, it is the elevated part of the cerebrum, while the sulci, it is a depressed part of the cerebrum. Gyri and the sulci, it increases surface area of the cerebrum for the vast number of nerve cells. Each cerebral hemisphere is further divided into four main lobes by three sulci. Sulcus, it is a singular. Sulci is a plural of the sulcus. And sulcus, it is the deep grooves. The three sulci present in the cerebrum It divides the cerebral hemisphere into four lobes. Student, keep your attention on the figure. These four lobes are frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. Frontal lobe, it is present in front side, in region of the forehead. Parietal lobe, it is the dorsal side of the head. Temporal lobe, it is present just above the ear. And occipital region, it is present back of the head region. The center sulcus, it separates the frontal lobe with the parietal lobe. The second sulcus, it is the lateral sulcus or the sylvian sulcus, which separate temporal lobe with the frontal and the parietal lobe. Parieto-occipital sulcus, which is the third sulcus, its name itself indicates this is the sulcus or the groove. It separates parietal region with the occipital region. Let us study about the frontal lobe, how it functions. Frontal lobe is having different areas: motor area, premotor area, association area, and the Broca area. Motor area, this is the region of the frontal lobe. It controls the voluntary motor activities or the movement of the muscles. Premotor area, it controls involuntary movements. Association area, it coordinates sensation and the muscular movements. While Broca area or the motor speech area, it helps to translate the thought into speech, expression of emotion, intelligence, willpower, and the memory. Parietal lobe, it is mainly somatosensory, or it helps to detect the changes at the surface or inside the body as a pain, pressure, temperature, and the taste. Temporal lobe, it is center for the smell or the olfactory center. It is center for hearing, or it is also called auditory center, as well as it is a center for speech and the emotion. Occipital lobe, it is a center for visual area or for the sense of the vision. It has Wernicke's area or intelligence center. It is the area between the temporal, parietal, and the occipital lobe. Wernicke's area, it helps in understanding of written and the spoken words. Occipital lobe also have basal nuclei or the basal ganglia. This ganglia, it is a gray color mass present in white matter. It is lying at the lateral side of the thalamus. They help the cortex to execute activities. Corpus striatum, it is present at the base of the cerebrum. It is the largest basal nucleus. Diencephalon, it is the last part of the forebrain. It consists of epithalamus, thalamus, and the hypothalamus. Diencephalon encloses a cavity or the ventricle called diocele. It is also called third ventricle. First and the second ventricle, it is present in the cerebrum. And third ventricle, it is present in diencephalon. The foramen of Monro, it is the opening which connect two lateral ventricles with the third ventricle. The ether or the duct of the Sylvius, it is a narrow duct. It connects lateral ventricle with the fourth ventricle, that is a metacell. Epithalamus, it is the roof of diencephalon. It is a non-nervous tissue. It is fused with pia mater, that is the innermost meninx of the brain, and it forms the anterior choroid plexus, which is responsible for the secretion of CSF, that is a cerebrospinal fluid. Its dorsal wall, it is connected to pineal gland by a pineal stalk. Thalamus, it is a lateral thick part of the diencephalon. It consists of gray matter. The right and the left thalamus part, it is connected by a commissure called habenular commissure. Thalamus, it is a relay center to transmit all sensory impulses except olfactory or the smell impulse, as it contains reticular activating system or RAS system, which connect different parts of the brain. The base of the diencephalon or the floor of diencephalon, it is the hypothalamus. It maintains homeostasis. That is, it maintains the internal equilibrium or the balance of the body and the involuntary control. Hypothalamus has hypothalamic nuclei. These are neurosecretory cells. They produce hormones, oxytocin and vasopressin. Hypothalamus, it is a link between the nervous and the endocrine system. It regulates heart rate, respiration, blood pressure, body temperature, water, and electrolyte balance. It has a center for hunger, thirst, sleep, fatigue, and the centers which regulate food intake, secretion of the glands of the stomach and the intestine. It has hypophyseal stalk or the infundibulum. It is the floor of the hypothalamus. It is the stalk which connect pituitary gland. At the inferior surface also has optic chiasma. Optic chiasma, it is a crossing of optic nerve. It has mammillary bodies also. These are a pair of small round bodies which are located at the lower surface of hypothalamus. They function for recollective memory. That is, the person can recall specific episode from their past. Hypothalamus also have limbic system. It is a complex neuronal circuit. It is formed by epithalamus and the thalamus and the other areas. It functions for emotional and motivational drives like feeding, reproduction, caring for the young ones, flight, and the fight response. Midbrain, it is located between the diencephalon and the pons varolii. Diencephalon, it is the last part of the forebrain, and the pons varolii, it is a part of hindbrain. Midbrain, it contains ether, which is a short canal which connect the lateral ventricle of cerebrum with the fourth ventricle, that is a metacell. And this short canal, it is called as ether, which is present in midbrain. Midbrain also have corpora quadrigemina and the crura cerebri. See the location which is given in the figure. Student, look at the figure in which the sky blue color structure present. It is the corpora quadrigemina of the midbrain. It is a reflex center of the brain. It consists of nerves which connect the forebrain with the hindbrain. It has four lobed structure, or the four bodies are present, and that's why the term it is used corpora quadri. Quadri indicates the four. Corpora quadri gemina, in which two superior bodies present called superior colliculi. Just below these two bodies, inferior colliculi are present. Like this, the four bodies together it form the complex. The superior colliculi, it is mainly for the visual reflex, and the inferior colliculi for auditory reflex. Superior colliculi coordinate the movement of the head in the direction of the sight. For example, if the person who was sitting in the cricket stadium and watching the cricket, the movement of the head, it is taking place in a direction of the ball, where it goes. Here the movement of the head and the sight, it is coordinated by the superior colliculi. Same way for the sound also. Inferior colliculi, it coordinates the movement of the head in a direction of the sound. For example, the sound which is produced by crackers. In direction of the sound, the movement of the head, it is seen. Next part of midbrain, it is a crura cerebri. It is a bundle of nerve fiber, or it is a tract. It is a rope-like, or it is a string-like structure which connect the cerebrum with the midbrain. Cerebrum, it is a part of the forebrain which get connected with the midbrain because of crura cerebri. The one more structure which is present in the midbrain, it is the red nucleus. Red nucleus, it is a mass of gray matter which is gray in color, and it is scattered in the white matter. So the patches of the red nucleus we can find in the white matter which is a white in color. The red nucleus, it controls the posture and the muscle tone. Hindbrain, it is a posterior region of the brain. It consists of pons varolii, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata. The brainstem, it is formed by midbrain, pons, and the medulla oblongata. Pons, it is the largest part of the brainstem, located above the medulla and below the midbrain. It is made up of group of nerve cells which form the horseshoe-shaped structure that function to connect the cerebrum with the cerebellum. Let us move on the next part of the hindbrain, cerebellum. It is also called little brain. It is a main structure of the hindbrain that is located near the brainstem. It is a little outward structure. Student, look at the figure. It is the part of the brain which is responsible for coordination of voluntary movement or the physical movement, to drive or to throw the ball or to walk across the room, or it also assists for the eye movement for the vision. It is a center for the balancing the body and the posture also. Let us study about the last part of the brain, as well as it is the last part of the hindbrain, and it is the medulla oblongata. It is a posterior conical part. It continues as a spinal cord. It has inner gray matter that is gray in color and outer white matter which is white in color. It controls involuntary vital functions, that is heartbeat, respiration, vasomotor activities, and the peristalsis. It also controls non-vital reflex activities, coughing, sneezing, swallowing, vomiting, yawning, etc. It encloses a cavity called metacell, or it is the fourth ventricle. The roof of the medulla oblongata is having posterior choroid plexus. which is responsible for the secretion of cerebrospinal fluid. This content of cerebrospinal fluid, it is supplied to the posterior region of the brain for the nourishment and for the protection. This is all about the human brain. In the next lecture, we will study about the next part of the central nervous system, that is the spinal cord. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Give your comment in comment box and do subscribe and share this channel.